欢迎来自全世界各地热爱学习、充满能量、充满智慧的家人们来到 SR 空中课堂学习。感谢全世界各地的家人对晨基集团的这份爱与相信，也感谢我们所有线上的家人，你愿意放下周末休息的时间来学习，给到我们所有如此有智慧的家人送上欢迎的掌声，欢迎各位家人们的到来。亲爱的家人们，大家可以听到我的声音吗？太棒了！那邀请我们所有的家人给自己找到一个安静的、不被打扰的地方，用心的来聆听每一位导师的分享，和我们所有的导师保持一份能量的链接，可以吗？如果可以的话，来让我们在屏幕上回复一下，我可以做到的。好，来，接下来让我们来自全世界各地的家人一起在屏幕上打出来，你来自哪个国家和地区，用你的方式和大家打招呼，让我们一起来感受一下世界各地的家人们的这份热情的能量。让老师看到你，太棒了！我看到我们有来自中国广州，有来自中国的浙江，还有来自哪里的呢？我们还有来自马来西亚、新加坡、台湾，太棒了！我看到有人刷起了一排的马来西亚，还有人来自中国河南洛阳，还有来自中国的东莞，太棒了！风筝之都，我已经感受到了大家的这份热情和能量，感受到了我们当下的这份幸福和喜悦。那我们会发现这2年多的疫情，不知道大家有没有发现这样的一个现象？那因为疫情的出现出现了2种人，一种人呢被疫情影响，在疫情的当下我们的家庭事业都受到了很大的冲击。一种人呢，在疫情的当下，同样的危机当中，他们寻找到了新的机会，可以化危为安，甚至创造了更好的结果，成为了时代的破局者。那么，为什么同样的环境，人们却出现了不同的结果呢？我想请问一下，我们今天线上所有的家人们，你是想成为受困者，还是想成为破局者呢？如果你想成为破局者的话，来让我们所有的人在聊天区一起来刷一波，我要成为破局者，让老师看到大家，我看到很多人刷了一排，太棒了。那对，非常非常的感谢我们所有的家人，因为我们能够有这样的一个选择，那对于我们来讲，对不一样的结果一定是来自于我们有不一样的思维，这是一个全新的时代的到来。不管过去我们是平凡还是辉煌，对于我们来说都是一个崭新的开始，这是一个新文明、新商业的时代。我们所有的人都要让到自己来打开自己的认知，拥有和这个时代匹配的能量和思维方式，大家同意吗？所以今天我们来到了 SR 空中课堂学习，大家有没有感受到我们都是幸运的？如果你感受到了，让大家所有的人一起在聊天区再次的刷起来，我是幸运的。是的，我们每一个人都是幸运的，因为大家知道吗？我们是在全世界几十亿人口当中，我们可以被拣选来到此次的空中课程学习，让我们一起成为时代的破局者，让我们一起保持着这样的一份空杯的心态来投入这次的学习，你可以吗？如果你可以的话，在聊天区回复一下我可以，我愿意。太棒了，让老师看到你，对，我是幸运者。那我们持续的保持这份热情的能量哈。那我也希望这2天的学习呢，大家都能够持续保持这样的能量状态。有一句话说叫热情可以成就大事。那我们想要成就大事，我们就要让自己保持这份持续的热情，保持高能量的状态。你能做到吗？如果能做到的话，我们一起在屏幕上来刷一波666。那接下来呢，老师要为大家介绍一下我们这2天的课程的安排。那这2天的学习，我们将可以聆听到9位破局者为大家带来的分享。 大家都知道，我们橙子集团成立于1993年，到现在发展成为全球领先的教育资源、研讨会和讲习班的供应商之一。我们相信，教育和学习体验超越了课堂的界限。25年来，我们已经自豪地为35个国家和地区的人民超过1000万的人带来了积极深远的影响。那陈宝春陈总与夫人微软创办了橙子集团，至今凭借着改变全球生命的宗旨，把全世界的大师级讲师齐聚在这样的一个平台上，也因此创造了许多跨国际的文化交流，搭建了许多知识的桥梁。如今也因为陈宝春夫妇的坚持，我们打破了传统，仅透过这样的一个视窗，便可以宛若置身课堂一般，继续向各路大师级的老师学习。那我是今天的主持人陈一晨老师，生命教育传播者，蜕变360学院的创始人，从事教育工作超过6年以上的时间，也是一位因为学习而改变命运的学习受益者。那疫情后的世界开始掀起了新的生活和新常态，许多的商业模式已经被迫在线上开始进行。从互联网的发展历程来看，3D 化多维化是大势所趋，短视频、直播、元宇宙、虚拟货币、NFT 已经逐渐崛起，也往越来越鲜活的方向发展。如果你还不知道整个世界正在发生着什么样的大的变化，那么你面临危机只差一刻之差，同意吗？那如果我们今天线上所有的家人，你想追回把握第一前锋趋势资讯，恭喜你走进了 SR 空中课堂，让我们再一次的刷起来888，恭喜自己做出了这样的智慧的选择。那么在开始之前呢，老师需要大家的配合，我们才能够在这次的空中课堂当中能够获得最棒的收获。首先呢，老师希望大家能够准备好你自己，准备好笔和笔记本，同时准备好水，让自己时刻保持好的状态。那第二点呢，我们需要保持积极上进的心来参与这2天的课程，保持空杯的心态。那我们所有的学员可以在 Zoom 聊天室来跟大家来互动，那我们需要用友善的语言来彼此的激励。同时呢，最重要的就是我们需要保持高能量的状态，保持学习的集中力。你能做到吗？如果能做到的话，我们大家一起来回复一下，我一定会做到的，因为我把这个时间投资了给自己，所以我要用心的来和每一位老师去连接。那喜欢这样的氛围的朋友也可以加入到我们 SR 空中课堂的群组，然后我们大家可以扫描2维码，也可以点击我们的聊天室的链接，或者是大家可以加入橙子集团的微信公众号，可以追踪橙子集团的微博。那大家来到 SR 空中课程，一定有你想要的收获，对吗？那接下来呢，老师希望你能够跟我有这样的一份互动。那你希望这2天的学习，你最希望收获到的是什么？你最希望突破的是什么？那么接下来呢，大家一起在聊天区把它写下来，老师也会看到，那我们所有的导师们也会看到。大家把你想要收获到的，你想要突破的，你想要成长和改变的，都放在我们的聊天区，好吗？让老师看到。对，我希望提升自己的格局，还有呢，对，你都希望自己收获的是什么？成长的是什么？突破的是什么呢？对，我们还有人说希望听到徐正国老师的演讲，太棒了。那我们做任何事情呢，我们都需要有明确的目标和明确的目的，这样我们才能够记得这一次来到橙子的空中课堂你想达到的这样的一个目的，大家说是吗？那么这2天的课程当中呢，我们将会和哈佛艾克学习怎么样能够拥有有钱人的思维，进而改变我们的金钱蓝图。那同时我们还可以跟石伟明老师学习，并开始创造我们的第2收入的方法，你期待吗？那我们也可以跟徐正国老师学习到掌握疫情后如何构建自己的财富方舟。那还可以和我们的基建金老师 学习提升销售技巧，学习新商业的盈利系统。那跟林伟贤老师，你将可以学习到怎么样的掌握开启元宇宙的新商业模式。那我们还可以跟陈进荣老师学习探索区块链和数字货币的奥秘。那我们还可以跟林天意老师学习了解 NFT 的由来。亲爱的家人们，你们期待吗？期待的话，来让我们在屏幕上来回复一下，我好期待呀！让老师来看到大家。那大家知道吗？在第二天的晚上，我们还有机会聆听到《穷爸爸富爸爸》作者罗伯特清崎的分享。那我们诚信的邀请了世界各地的9位顶级的破局者，来为大家创造了这堂大变局新出路，来协助你。你希望在这样的一个时代，在这样的一个阶段，能够有新的出路，也能够成为破局者吗？那这将推翻你所面对的困境和所有的固有的认知，跟上时代的巅峰。破局者将会为你带来最劲爆、最前线的时事动态，让你掌握第一先锋的机会。那今天呢，在我们的9位导师正式分享之前呢，陈老师会为大家先邀请出来我们橙资集团的陈宝村总裁哈。那我从认识陈总以来，我每一次见到他，每一次聆听他的演讲，我的内心都非常非常的受触动，因为他的这样的一个梦想，现在已经让我们可以把各位的这样的顶级的世界大师邀请到我们的空中课堂，让我们所有的家人坐在家里就可以聆听到这些顶尖的老师给到我们的这样的资讯。所以呢，我们所有的家人先一起刷起一个520，让我们一起共同的感谢一下我们橙资集团为我们所有的家人们搭建的这样的一个，真的让我们能够在这样的一个阶段去打破自己所有的困境的这样的一个学习的平台。所以来，让我们一起来刷起520，送上我们的这份感恩和感谢。那陈总他是一位非常特别的人物，他是新加坡2003年年度凤凰奖的得主。金凤凰奖是由新加坡政府颁发给在企业界有杰出表现的企业家，表扬他们面对起步时的困难锲而不舍、屹立不倒的精神。他是橙资集团的总裁，全球培训业的领导者。那每年橙资集团跨越亚洲、欧洲、澳洲、非洲、北美洲，在30个国家、70个城市主办了500场的课程和培训，而且橙资集团所推广的都是世界级顶尖的老师，如安东尼·罗宾老师、迈克尔·波特、克林顿总统、英国前首相布莱尔，包括唐纳德、特朗普、理查德·布兰森、罗伯特清崎、哈弗艾克等等。亲爱的家人们，你们有没有非常的期待呢？那在我们正式邀请陈总来为我们分享之前呢，我想我们所有的家人要一起的来调整一下自己的状态，好不好？我们学习，我们说知识一定要融入我们的情绪状态，我们一定要让到自己保持高能量的状态。安东尼·罗宾老师说过一句话我们要想能够拿到更大的成就，一定要保持高能量的状态。所以亲爱的家人们，让我们来调整一下自己，拿出自己最好的状态，来准备开始我们今天的一天的学习。那我们今天安排的课程从早上一直到晚上7点多的时间，所以大家一定要准备好你的时间，可以吗？对，你有准备好自己了吗？你有准备好自己热情的状态了吗？你有准备好自己空杯的心态了吗？记得这是一个新时代，这是一个新商业的到来，是一个新文明时代的到来。我们一定要改变自己过去的认知，改变自己过去的思维方式，我们才能够有一个全新的提升和全新的这样的一个境界哈。所以呢，对，如果你准备好了，再一次的我们在屏幕上来刷起来。我会保持空杯的状态，我会保持高能量的状态，保持跟每一位老师的用心的连结。 那接下来我们就会为大家邀请出我们陈宝村陈总为大家带来的精彩的分享。来，我们所有的人刷起鲜花，刷起520，挑起来你的红心，还有你的掌声，最重要的还有你的热情跟能量。让我们一起聆听陈总带给我们的智慧的分享。你准备好了吗？对，有请我们陈总为我们带来智慧的精彩的分享。我相信这一天，今天一天的学习，包括明天的学习，还有我们第3天的晚上的学习，一定会开启我们每一个人不一样的思维方式，一定会让到你拿到自己最大的收获。那我们这几位老师都会在自己不同的领域拿出自己最能够带给我们价值的这样的分享，所以太棒了。那接下来对我们调整好自己的状态，同时准备好你的笔跟笔记本，用心的聆听。那重要的是呢，我们还要能够把你所学到的重点及时的记录在你的笔记本当中。那奕晨老师也会在每一位老师结束之后，带着大家一起做这样的一个复盘。所以接下来让我们掌声有请陈宝村陈总带给我们的智慧的分享。
Hello， 大家好，我叫陈宝村 Richard， 我是橙汁集团的总裁。疫情前，橙汁集团在30个国家、50个城市，1年办550场课，在全世界办课。今天呢，我想欢迎大家来到 SR 空中课堂，您和你的家人来这里获得灵感。太多人不开心，他们没有任何热情，他们从小就受到限制信念的影响，这些信念阻碍了他们现实目标和梦想。你可能也是其中一个。世界会根据这种信念奖励我们。今天我们将你分享如何找到你的激情，以及如何克服你的限制信念。对于某些人来说呢，活着自己的热情似乎是自然而然的事情，他们投身于自己热爱的事业，不管社会对他们的期望，但这些对我们来说都是不是很容易。你已经可能列出了清单，你已经向你的朋友求他们的意见，你可能写过日记，并且分析过你曾经有过的每一个想法。然而你仍然问自己，我的激情是什么呢？那是因为激情来自内心，而不是头脑。很有可能您已经知道自己的热情是什么，只需要连接它。我想跟大家分享3种方法来找出你的热情、你的激情。第一呢，看看你喜欢什么，去看看你的书架和你最喜欢可能的你的电影，或者你看过的最后一部戏剧，他们有什么共同的主题吗？想想你最喜欢的假期工作，或者你上一次很专注的一个项目，甚至让你完全忘记了时间的项目。想想你从小时候喜欢什么，比如画画啦、写作啦、跳舞啦等等。很多时候呢，当我们成为了成年的时候，我们就会放弃我们的激情和我们的热情。第二点，要注意在你空闲的时候做些什么事情呢？你最爱做的不一定是你真正的激情，跟你的激情很不相同，但他们呢，可能可以给你一些暗示。如果你花太多的时间，大量的时间你空闲的时间读书呢， 可能你的热情可能是在写作啦、教学啦、研究啦等等。如果你喜欢可能跳舞啦、练体操啦、exercise 啦，可能你可能会被动和表情所吸引，深入思考，如果你深入思考，你可以发现到你的激情。第三呢，是使用摇摇椅试测世界第一成功学老师安东尼·罗宾呢，他经常在他的活动里面呢，用摇摇椅来做试测，因为这是最有效找出你知情方法之一。就想想一下，你90岁的时候坐在门前的摇摇椅上，回忆你的生活，你最大的遗憾是什么呢？你希望你曾经有什么经验呢？你希望你追寻什么激情？你希望如何被世界的人记住呢？所以这些问题呢，全部示范某些潜在你内心的意思给你一些暗示，来让你认识什么东西是在你生命里面最重要的。很可能它不是社会所要求你的那些东西。所以以上这些是让你让你知道你的激情的一些方法。以下呢，我想跟大家分享一些常见限制心智的信念。第一呢，很多人有这个信念：我不够好，我不够聪明，我不够漂亮，我不够有才华。这些人呢，不愿意开始做一些事情的时候呢，这些都是最经典的借口。他们对自己说我不够聪明所以我用这个借口来推做他们的责任他们不认某某角色呢，就对自己说我不够好啦，所以用这个借口不要为社会服务。他们对自己说我不够漂亮啦，所以用这个借口呢就不要去谈恋爱，没有追求别人，也不谈恋爱。他们无法相信自己的成功是可以通过自己努力或者是技术所得到的。要停止这种感觉，唯一的方法呢，就是要知道我们并不是我们想象，并不是我们我们所相信的那样，而是我们做的什么东西，而且我们做什么就成为什么，以行动改变现态。因此，借用 Nike 的标语 "Just do it" Nike 的标语 "Just do it"， 尽管去做吧。即使你做的不好，没事的，没关系。一旦你完成之后呢，你会认识到其实呢，你是可以做到的，你是可以做到的。一个很大很大的秘诀，就是很大很大的秘密可以将那些做到的人和那些没做到的人的分别。愿意做的人呢，即使做的不好，也会开始做。其实那些根本不愿意做的人呢，也不会去开始做的。所以你需要马上开始行动，建立这个冲力。这是第一个限制我们的信念。第二个限制的信念呢，就是生活不容易很困难其实生活很平生活很平的有顺利也有困难。这两者之间呢，成为 成为进步和享受。你以前都听过很多次，如果你不经过困难的时间呢，你就不会有享受美好的光阴。我们遇到最糟糕的限制信念之一呢，就是你有这个信念说你必须永远的奋斗到你死。这个信念呢，非常的可怜也非常的糟糕。这些人相信说，生活中没有什么东西比苦难更多。那么他们做什么呢？他们就接受了这个为真理，然后呢，他们继续他们的生活，就像他们必须受苦一样。对他们来说呢，苦难可能是宇宙啦，或者是他们的神赐给他们的这样的，这可能是神的法律啦，他们没有办法去改变。对于其他的人来说呢，生活有很多困难，是一种选择。我们有能力决定我们希望自己的生活有多么困难。自愿让你们的生活受的一些困难呢，现在你的生活让你的生活变得，如果你现在让你的生活很困难呢，目的是以后将来呢会更轻松。今天你努力的工作很困难，不过以后呢前景光阴非常的好，有个好的未来。如果你以限制的信念来面对生活，会很困难呢。但是另有一种想法，就是好像圣经上的挪亚造船的信念，来面对困难的生活。那时候挪亚要造船的时候，很多人都嘲笑他。最后呢，大雨来了全世界都淹水他跟他的家人能够在他在船上大家都很平安。所以今天呢，你选择困难的生活以后呢光阴非常的你有个很好的前途。所以造你的船吧，现在造你的船。另外一个信念，很普通的信念呢，就是这个信念。OK， 这个信念就是我太老了我太年轻还是我还没有准备好这其实是对成功的恐惧你限制了自己，以为没有行动没有方法。这并不是，其实这并不是世界所专注的重点。我们大家都知道肯德基的创造人Colonel Sanders，他在65岁的时候创办世界最棒的连锁店肯德基家乡鸡。而大家在座的朋友，可能你20岁、30岁、40岁、50岁，那么你已经认为哇，游戏已经结束了，这不可能对不对我们从不相信太年轻或者有这个太老的心态。为什么呢？因为世界奖励你是因为你的行动，而不是你的年龄只要你能够为他们有一个能够解决他们的问题，世界的人都不关心你的年龄。我们生活在一个以结果最重要，就是能够有成绩的一个世界。您的能力呢？你的能力跟你的结果是成功的唯一标准。你可能以为自己还没有准备， 而且要更多的时间来准备。但是你知道如何准备吗？当你不愿意的时候，你就开始，这就是你怎么样准备。当你不愿意的时候，你就开始，这就是你怎么样准备。你去试试看 ，OK？ 你去试试看。比如说学习脚踏车，第一个规则就是要骑上那个自行车。是的，你可能会跌倒很多次，不过过了这个过程呢，你会学到怎么样骑脚踏车。你好像没有人去学校啦，去学骑脚踏车的，可能有点点帮助呢。跟真正的去学校学脚踏车啦，跟真正的去学呢是不一样的。不在乎你要去自己要去试一下，你不是太老，也不是太年轻，而是现在你要采取行动，别等了啦。OK， 那第四个信念呢，影响到很多人，就是有钱人是坏人。这个是限制很多人的信念，有钱人是坏人。事情是这样的，你永远不会成为你讨厌的人。如果你认为成功的人是坏人，那么你永远不会成为成功的人。如果你认为成功的人很幸运，你永远不会成功的，因为显然的，你不是一个幸运的人。有钱的人不是坏人，他们只是受到不同的教育和思想不一样。OK， 我们在学校呢学地理啦、历史啦、数学啦等等啦，相反的，他们学的呢是市场上必应用的一些学问，资金啦、销售啦等等，要怎么样做生意，所以他们跟很多人的教育都不一样。就是这样呢，所以我们主持了 SR 空中课程的原因，我们带来了很多老师来帮助你面对真正的挑战，市场真正的挑战。OK， 所以你可以在这个课程里面学到很多你在学校没有学到的那些学问。OK， 没有学到那些的学问。最后的一个信念，可能是我我对这个信念非常的有热情。这个最后的一个阻止我们的信念就是我没有钱啊，我没有资本啊，所以我不能够赚钱啊。很多人啊，包括有些很多来上课的朋友呢，都用这个借口说他们不能够赚钱，或者是不能够创业，因为他们没有资本啊，他们没有本钱啊。那么在座的很多朋友，我想问在座的很多朋友，有谁听过一些人开始的时候可能没有资本，可能没有钱，然后变成非常富有？如果你有听过这样的一些人呢，你可以举起你的手吗？ OK， 谢谢。那很多人呢，可能从杂志上啊，或者是报纸上啊，或者是认识很多人都是这样的一个经验。他们开始的时候没有钱，那么现在非常的富有，甚至你见过他们看过他们，跟他们握过手。我想问大家一个问题，甚至你认识一些人开始没有钱，然后变成很有钱，而且可能你在杂志上读过一些他们的背景都是这样的。那么为什么呢？你们还有这样的信念呢？为什么你还有这样的想法呢？你知道为什么吗？因为呢，你要给你自己一个借口，证明为什么你不可以赚钱。你告诉你自己说，哎呀，我没有资本啊，我没有钱啊，给自己一个不赚钱的 理由，不能够赚钱的理由，让我现在告诉你，今天你不可以再有这样，你不可以有，你今天你不再有这个权利了，你不可以有这个权利给自己这个借口，因为你不可以给自己一个借口说，因为你没有钱，没有本钱，所以你不赚钱。这就是为什么我们办这个 SR 空中课堂的课程，因为我们有很多老师能够教导你怎么样把你的生活你做得更好，更成功，更成功。我希望每个人都有一个美好的天，而且今天我祝大家每个人都成功。我是 Richard Tan， 神智集团的总裁，谢谢大家的支持。
感谢陈总给我们带来智慧的分享。亲爱的所有的家人们，刚刚通过陈总的这一段分享，你感悟到了什么呢？我们大家一起在屏幕上跟老师来互动一下，好不好？刚刚这一段分享，你受到了什么样的启发呢？你感悟到了什么呢？那我也希望我们今天线上所有的家人，今天我们是来这里学习的。那我希望我们所有的线上的家人在聊天区，我们都能够像陈总讲的，我们要保持着这份积极和正能量，我们要保持积极的正面的信念。那我们花了这样的时间，就要拿到价值，大家同意吗？我们来学习了，就一定要让到自己在这2天的时间拿到自己最大的收获，大家说是吗？那我们要改变，那我认为呢，我们最先要改变的就是要先从我们的语言上来改变，让到自己口吐莲花，口吐恩言，你愿意做到吗？虽然我们现在在聊天室啊，你发出来的每一个信息，实际上你要么就影响了大家，影响了这个环境，你要么就给别人去赋能，去给别人给到支持。所以我想请问一下，我们今天线上所有的家人，你想给到别人一份支持，给别人赋能呢？你想把积极正面的语言带给大家呢？你还是想把那些消极的、负面的、抱怨的语言带给我们身边的人呢？如果今天你来到这里是想改变自己的，你是想让自己拿到收获的，我希望从此时此刻开始，我们能够从讲积极正面的话，讲正面的语言，你愿意吗？对，那这是第一个老师所想讲的，我们一定要说积极正面的话，口吐莲花，口吐恩言。大家一起在屏幕上把这句话打出来。那么第二个就是我们一定要看好的，今天我们这2天的这样的学习，我们要看向所有的这样的你能够拿到的收获的这样的部分。那同时我们还要去听好的，那老师可能一个观点给到你了，就让到我们能够发生非常大的改变了，大家同意吗？所以陈总也告诉我们一个非常重要的思维，就是我们要解除我们所有的限制性的信念，那去让到我们能够真正的开始去用我们的行动影响身边的人。那陈总说，我们的今天所有的一切跟你的学历、跟你的年龄、跟你的出身都没有关系，当你不愿意的时候，就开始去做对的事情，现在就开始采取行动，解除有钱人是坏人的信念，你永远不会成为你所讨厌的人。那接下来呢，亲爱的家人们，我们将为大家邀请出来我们的第1位的导师。我相信我们很多的家人都特别期待聆听他的分享，我也相信很多人都曾经看过他的书《有钱人和你想的不一样》。那我们今天要邀请出来的就是哈佛艾克老师，请大家务必的要打开你的思维。那今天这一上午的接下来哈佛艾克老师的分享，一定会对你在财富上有一个巨大的这样的意识维度的打开你的思维的重建。所以我们要重构我们金钱的蓝图，让到你可以真正的迈向财富自由之路。那哈佛艾克老师呢，他善用他教导大众的财富法则，在短短2年半的时间内，他从无到有成为美金100万富翁。他用心的结合了独特而典型的思考智慧，创立了有钱人和你想的不一样这样的密集的改造的课程，并影响了世界将近200万人的思维。 艾克是《纽约时报》2本畅销书的作者，《有钱人和你想的不一样》以及《迅速致富》。如今，艾克的思想被大众认可，并协助他人实现财富的热情，他已经帮助近200万人从财务的困难的困境中解决出来，并迈向财富成功的大门。艾克之所以能够有效地与他人接触，是因为他了解别人的故事，他了解你的挣扎。艾克通过不断的变化注意力和态度，从无到有成为美金百万富翁。他用心地结合了独特而非典型的思考智慧，创立了这套系统。现在他透过环游世界，向各个年龄段和背景的人们展示了他们如何跟随他的脚步。艾克具有无与伦比的能力，可以激发周围的人追随他们一直寻求与想象的成功，并采取行动。他也不会拐弯抹角，他会直截了当地告诉你设定和实现目标所必须的步骤，并忽略导致你退缩太久的恐惧和干扰。因为艾克是英文演讲，所以大家点击我们的翻译，选择中文。那接下来呢，让我们送上鲜花掌声，有请我们的艾克老师为我们带来翻译的功能，选择中文。
Selling author of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Give me 5 minutes with anyone, and I can predict your financial future for the rest of your life.
We're going to jump right into it. But before we get started, I just want to make sure everybody understands my normal modus of operandi, which is really, first again, let's just make sure everybody is safe and that everybody's okay and everybody's in good health. That's the most important thing. Yes or yes. Secondly, I always start everything with, don't believe a word I say. Why would I suggest that? Well, whose experience can I come from? Just my experience. It doesn't make it right or wrong or true or false. All I can let you know is that in this particular case, well, fortunately or unfortunately, I'm old enough to have gone through several up and down turns in the economy, et cetera, et cetera. And so, I've kind of been able to figure out a few little things that have been extremely helpful for me and for many, many other people that I've had the pleasure of teaching, and been able to come through them. I'm not going to say pretty well. I'm going to say quite well, thank goodness. So, whatever I say to everybody here, you need to know, first of all, if you haven't been with me before, welcome. If you have been with me before, my God, I cannot believe you came back. But, I guess the people that don't know me that well, one thing I will say right now is that I guess my style is a little more, no bullshit, no holds barred, straight to the point, at least the way I see it, doesn't make it right or wrong or true or false. But the reason that you're on this call and on this video and everything, the reason you're on this program is to grow, yes or yes. So let me just start with being really blunt. Is that okay? So everyone's going, yeah, that's okay. Be blunt. Yeah, well, you don't know what it's like until I start being blunt. And what I mean by that is like, if what you were doing was working as well as you wanted to be working, you probably wouldn't be on this program right now. You probably wouldn't be on this call. So for most people like myself, when I wasn't nearly as, I'm going to say it straight up, wealthy as I am right now, I was on every call. I was on every seminar. I was reading every book I possibly could. And I still learn, et cetera, et cetera. But the reason you're on this format, this call, is because my guess, and it could be wrong, is that you still have a ways to go in at least some area of your life. And maybe that area is probably success, probably, money in business, probably you want to be happier. And that's a guess. It's not saying that a lot of people are going, yes, 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 yes. I want all of those things. Yes, thank you in the chat box. Yeah, that's right. So we all want the same things. And I just happen to have some knowledge, information, methodologies that have done extremely well for me. For those who don't know me, I'm not going to get into the whole thing here, but I am a, people ask all the time, Harv, are you a millionaire? You talk about millionaire, et cetera, et cetera. Are you a millionaire? And I have to admit right now, as I've said many, many times before, because of the way the virus is and the the way the situation has occurred and the economy and all that, real estate that's kind of changed up a little bit, stock market plunging and going back. I am not a millionaire. Right now I am not a millionaire. I am a multi, and I could go on for a few more minutes, millionaire. And I'm not telling you that to impress you. I'm telling you that to kind of impress upon you that maybe there's just a little something you might be able to glean from our discussion tonight. So, having said that, I just want you to know that I'm just going to call it the way I see it. I'm going to let you know what works for me and what's worked for me and what works for my students. And I've been able to help literally tens of thousands of students from all across the globe. And so I'm hoping that I can just help you just a little bit gain some insights into how someone else might think of things other than how you think of it. Because remember, how you think of things has gotten you where you are right now. And that hopefully is pretty decent, but it may not be where you want to be just yet. So you do need some, in my experience, I believe it seems to me like you would need some outside views, some outside perspectives. So, there's no reason to say, well, that's right, that's wrong, I agree. It doesn't matter, because all it is an outside, maybe a little different perspective about things that I might be able to share with you that might tweak a little something in your mind. And from there, in your actions, and from there, your results. Okay. And it was mostly about the economy. And, literally, there's a lot of discussion all over the world about the economy. And at least I can tell you in America, where I am right now, the stock market's gone down about maybe 40%, 30%, came back up a little bit. People are saying it's going to go back up. Maybe I'm not a big believer in that. I'm telling you right now, I pulled my money out as soon as I could, telling you straight up. I am not telling you what to do with your money, okay? I'm telling you what I did with my money, and I'm sitting in a lot of cash. And I'm not buying yet. That should tell you something, because I think with all of the issues that are going on, the businesses that have had problems, et cetera, the people that are out of work, and you might be one of them, we still have a situation in front of us. However, and this is the key thing, this is one of the big things, and if you have an opportunity to write things down, I would really appreciate if you do so, especially write them down in the chat box so I can see them and I can see that you did it. Because, one thing is for you to hear it. That's a portion of learning. But what we teach is accelerated learning. So you learn faster, deeper, you ingrain more, you're able to use it more naturally, more automatically. To do that, I'm going to ask you to write things down if that's okay. And maybe even to repeat things, okay? So I won't be able to hear you, but at least you can repeat them out loud. And don't be shy about doing that. That just ingrains it. So if it feels weird if I ask you to repeat something, just do it, because that goes to a different part of your brain, your mind. And to do that, it's called whole brain learning. And as I said, it goes deeper and ingrains much more deeply as well. Okay, so I want to start with this, okay? Everybody is going, the economy is crappy. The economy is going to be crappy. There's issues with the economy. We're going to have a crash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I want you to write this down. Okay. This is critical. This is a big distinction that people tell me all the time when they hear it from me. They go, wow, I never heard that before. That's really different. So write it down. Okay. Listen closely. Here it is. Writing it. Are you ready? I want you to write in the chat box. Okay. So I can see you did. Okay. There is no economy. Write that down. There's no economy. There is only my economy. All right? There is no economy. There's only my economy, my personal economy. And so literally, what does that mean? Well, let me ask you a question here. Over the last, 5-10 years, how many of you would agree that, the economy, for the most part, I don't know where you live, but least in America and many other places, since 2009, 2008, the economy has been going up. It's been getting better and better, right? So the stock market, for example, was at its highest point in history at 29,000 at the Dow, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's been doing better and better and better and better. And you hear about all these people, doing well in business and getting rich. And this is sold for hundreds of millions. And this company sold for $7 billion. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what are they talking about? Like so the economy has been doing well, a little up and down, but like it's been doing pretty good. Yes or yes? It's actually been flying. Now, let me ask you a simple question. During this time that the economy has been skyrocketing, how many of you know, maybe personally, or have heard of, that there's still a lot of people that are broke, that did not do well while the economy was flying? They were grounded. They didn't do well at all. They're still broke. How many of you understand there's still a lot of broke people, even when the economy is skyrocketing? Yes or yes? Let me hear you. Yes, absolutely. So there are people who are completely broke, destitute, doing terrible, right? When the economy is skyrocketing. Now, you would think that they would do so great when the economy is skyrocketing, right? But they don't. So let me ask you another question. How many people know and have heard of people that when the economy, as in the country, the world economy, wasn't doing so good, they were doing fantastic? I know lots of people like that. I'm one of those people. Let me give you a figure just so you know. Check this out. Did you know that 50%, how many percent? I'm asking you. How many percent, everybody? Nice and loud. Thank you. 50% of all of the companies that are on today's Forbes 500 list, that's the list of the kind of the best and richest companies, 50% of those companies that are on that list today started during the last recession. How could that be? How could that be? I thought that when the economy is doing bad, everybody has to do bad. What? Are you kidding me? That's just not true. So let's take out the word the economy. The economy isn't doing good. Excuse my French, but who gives a shit about the economy? There is no the economy, because in all economies, some people do really well, and in all economies, some people do really crappy. Yes or yes or yes. And the only question is, which are you, as in me, say me, which are you going to be? Are you going to be the person that does really well in this or any other economy, or are you going to be the person that does really crappy in whatever economy? Because the economy doesn't matter. Nobody cares about that. You say, well, Harv, people don't have as much money to spend during a bad economy. What? There's 7 billion people. Are you telling me all 7 billion have no money? No. That's ridiculous. And we're going to get into what kind of things they will pay for as we continue here. Is that good or good or good? Now, let me ask one more question here. And then I want to not rush, but I want to get through as much of the information as I possibly can so that I can hopefully make a little dent in your thoughts. I don't want to ever hear about the economy is bad. Who cares? You know what the problem is? The problem is you're buying into their brokenness. And as I say, write this down, okay? One of my number one teachings that people know me for is this teaching. So write it down. Ready? Here, this is one of the most important things you can ever, what's the word? Ever learn. Write it down. Are you ready? This is my number one rule. Ready? Don't listen to broke people. Don't listen to broke people unless you want to be what? Broke. Broke people can only teach you how to be what? Broke, right? I can tell you right now, absolutely. I was just with a bunch of friends and we were having a little outdoor dinner thing socially distancing in the park. Literally, you know, we're barely yelling over there, hey, how's it going? And they're all well off. You know, they live we're living by the country club, and everyone's doing well. And they don't seem to have any problems. No problems for them, right? So do not think for a second, you know, that everyone is broke. And let me just put it again, straight up. Don't listen to broke people. Broke people will always, here's a phrase the broke person will use. Here's one of their favorite phrases. The economy is bad. The economy might crash. The economy isn't good right now. Nobody has any money. How can you make it in this kind of a crappy economy? You know, when you hear a person talk like that, they are I told you, I'm not going to pull any punches, okay? If you don't like my style, please excuse that. You know, don't shoot the messenger, just pass over my style and just listen to the message, right? But when people speak like that, you know this person is a loser. They're a loser. Not that they're a loser as a human being. No, they're probably a wonderful, kind-hearted, magnificent, full of potential human being. But they lose at life. They're a loser at success. They're a loser at business. They're a loser at money, okay? If you hear anybody talking about how shitty the economy is, you know they are a what? Write it down. They are a loser at success. And that's not you. So I never, ever, ever want to hear anything about the economy except the opposite, which is the economy is crashed. It's not doing well. Stock market down, real estate market down, this market down, business down, that. Well, have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Warren Buffett? Anybody heard of Warren? He's known as the Oracle of Omaha. He's known as the #1 investor in the world. He's like 80-something years old. He's built billions of dollars, one of the richest men in the world, okay? Do you know what one of his favorite saying is? He says it very simply. He says, when other people are greedy and celebrating, that's when you should be selling. And when other people are fearful, that's when you should be buying, okay? Listen, I'm going to tell you right off, I'm not even a big stock market player, but I'll let you know in general, when things are high, you want to jump on it, right? You want to jump on it when things are high. But the question is, why? You know, from here, it can only go, if it's already gone from here to here, you know, let me see, from here to here, right? When it gets here, it's very hard for it to double again. It's going to take a long time. But when it crashes, getting back up usually isn't that challenging. So there's another gentleman by the name of Baron Rothschild, an older fellow again from the past, and he was the richest human being on earth. And you know what his saying was? Write this down, just so you know, just so you get this. It's a horrendous saying. Okay, I don't even like saying it, but it's a good thing so you really remember this. Write it down. Ready? Here we go. Buy when there's blood in the streets. Buy when there's blood in the streets. What does that mean? Who can tell me? Who can tell me what that means? That's right. Buy when it's down. Buy when it crashes. Buy when things are not going well. That's when you get into things, right? You get involved when things are not doing as well. So bottom line, very, 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 very simple. Whenever there's a situation, there's going to be people who get swallowed up by that situation, and there's going to be people who take advantage of that situation. So the question is not, what is the economy? The question is, what is my economy? And I want you to repeat this with me now, and then I want you to write it down. You ready? Here it goes. Write it down. My economy is great. Let me hear you repeat that. My economy is great. Very good. It doesn't matter what happens out there, because I'm going to, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more after, I'm going to utilize, what's the word? Utilize whatever happens to my advantage, right? And we're going to get into exactly how we can possibly do that. So, that's the big takeaway right now. A couple of big ones I want to summarize right there. There's no such thing as the economy. There's only your personal economy. And I can tell you right now, my economy is always great. And that's what I want you to say. My economy is great. That was number one. And what was the second rule? Don't listen to broke people. When you hear people talk negatively about the economy, about the virus, about this and that, you're listening to people who are either broke or will be broke, or they're broken in here. And that's where it all starts. So whatever's happening, we use it to our advantage. Well, there's no doubt about it that the virus situation, from a health standpoint, it's terrible for people. I mean, there's a lot of people who have passed away. There are a lot of people who are sick. There's a lot of people who are afraid. There's a lot of people who, have a lot of anxiety. And I totally get that. But I want you to understand something. We'll talk about this a little bit later because I specialize in this area of anxiety and what we call mind frick, what your mind is doing to you. But it doesn't have to be that way, okay? There are definitely situations that are in place right now that are not great for people. And as I said earlier, you don't have to necessarily poo-poo that in order to be able to make something of it. So, a couple of things. First of all, there's a principle that I teach that I believe is one of the most important principles that a person can ever learn. Is it okay if I share the principle? All right. So I want everybody to write this down. All right. So when quote unquote, let's call it bad things. Not going to say what it is or isn't. Let's just say a not so great, negative, bad thing happens in general in our lives, and like this virus or whatever it is, right? When that happens, what do most people do? 80% of people, in my estimation, will, write this down, resist what is. They will resist what is. And how do we resist? By being negative about it, by being anxious about it, we resist by pushing it away. And why do we push it away? We push it away because we don't like it. We don't want it. We don't want it in our lives. So how do we, what's the emotion? That's the thought process. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. That turns into what? Thoughts lead to what? Feelings. Yes. And so what's the feelings? Anger, fear, resentment, anxiety, irritation, agitation, upset. I don't want it. I want it. Fear. And by the way, fear is at the root of all of those things, just so you know. So we don't want it. We resist it. Okay. So we put a stance against it and we're pushing back on it. All right. Everyone got that? That's stage one of what most people do. 80%, that's their category. What's been going on for you for the COVID virus? Oh my God, it's been the worst thing ever. I've been having to stay home and I'm locked in and I'm so bored and I don't know what to do with myself and I can't wait to get out. Okay, nice. The second group, the second phase here is, the first one is resistance, write that down. The second phase is acceptance. And that just means acceptance of what is. And it just means, okay, I'm not going to push this away. I'm just going to say what is, and I'm going to let that be. So I'm not going to get all freaked out. I'm not going to get all fearful. I'm just going to, as is it. I'm going to say, this is what is. They have a virus. There are people out of work. I might be out of work. That's what is. And I can sit with that. And there's a way to sit with that. And that way is, I'm going to give you a hint here. Okay. This could be one of the most important things you hear on this entire call in this program. And how do you handle stuff that's coming up for you? How do you handle it? There's one best way. Ready? Here it is. Come back to the present moment. We'll talk about this at the end again. All this stuff comes from fear. Fear comes from the mind, and we'll talk about that after. But here's something really cool, everybody. Did you know that fear does not exist in the present moment, fear cannot exist in the present moment. And we'll talk about it later, but I have an entire webinar on this, web class on it, but you have to understand that fear is about the future. The definition of fear, write this down, please. The definition of fear is anticipation of pain. Remind me, everyone, in the chat box later to go back into that near, when we do a little bit more in some of the business and money side, okay? But so what's your refuge? What's your sanctuary? How do you get away from that crazy ass mind that's this could happen, that could happen, this could happen, that could happen. I might get blah, blah, blah. You just simply put your attention on what you are doing right this second. So hopefully what you're doing right now is you're listening to me, you're writing things down. You wrote down, did you write down to come back to the present? Write that down, come back to the present. That's your shelter. That's your true shelter, okay? That's where fear and anxiety and upset don't exist. That's the secret. That's the secret that Buddha taught. That's the secret that Eckhart Tolle teaches. That's the secret that everyone who's semi-enlightened teaches. The answer is in the present moment. Why? Because your crazy ass mind isn't crazy ass in that moment. You're just dealing with what is. All right, so that's number 2, acceptance, right? Good. Now, here's the one I want to teach you. This is the one I believe has changed my life and it's changed tens of thousands of my students' lives. I want you to repeat this with me first, and then I want you to write it down. Are you ready? Are you ready, everybody? You're not ready. Ready? Ready? Yes, ready, ready. Okay, there's a lot of readies coming in. Fine, thank you. Okay, you're ready. I got it. Here it is. Write it down. This is the principle of utilization. Utilization. Oh my gosh. This is such a powerful principle, all right? And the reason, so let's go back again. Number 1 stage, 80% resistance. I don't want to, this is terrible. Fear, anxiety, anger, okay? Number 2 stage, acceptance. Okay, I just accept it. I'm going to deal with it. I'm okay with what is, and that's the end of that. And number 3 stage, here it is, utilizing what is. You're going to take this and use it for your benefit or the benefit of others. Again, you're going to use this, utilize this situation for your benefit or the benefit of others. And so basically, you're going to turn this into something that works for you. All right. When we just came back, literally about 20 minutes before I started this interview process, from this little gathering we had in the park, there was 4 couples, 8 people, and we actually did a what I feel like saying. And part of it was, so one of the questions was, when we finished that was, so what has anything new happened for you during this lockdown, during the 6 weeks we've been in the house, basically? How has it been for you? And to a T, every one of these highly successful people, we all basically said the same thing. Okay, say, this has been amazing. This has been fantastic. This has been incredibly creative. Some people have started 2 of the women, one started sewing, one started knitting. One is, we'll deal with it later, is making face masks for her friends and so that. Michelle, my honey, she started cooking, okay? So all kinds of different things people have occurred. Rich was saying, I've read 3 historic novels that I would have never got through. Harv, what about you? I've been writing my little brains out. I can tell you right now, I don't love to write necessarily. Ooh, sorry, I just don't. What am I going to tell you? To be honest with you, I love teaching. I love helping people, but I just don't like I find it tedious to write, especially the kind of stuff I write. And so literally, I have been writing for anywhere from 3 to 6 hours every afternoon. I can guarantee if it wasn't for this lockdown, I would have wrote for 3 hours in the last 2 months. But now I've got like half of this new project done, which is like insane, right? That would not have happened. I'm Zooming and talking and FaceTiming to people that I hadn't talked to in months and in years, okay? So this idea of utilizing this time is critical. when we've been in a lockdown, we're just starting to get back, et cetera, right? And I'm not sure what your country, but that's where we are here in America, just starting to get back. But utilizing this time to do what? To do a lot of different things. Like, first of all, for a lot of people, how about utilizing this time to get in the best physical condition of your life? I have my buddy Harold. Where's my phone? Oh, he just texted me literally about 3 hours ago, and he said, I've been swimming every day. I've been walking every day. I've been running in the pool every day. I've been this. He says, I am in the best shape of my life. I would say for myself, I take Pilates classes almost every morning online and yoga classes almost every evening. And my bands, those bands, I use those every day. And so, yeah, get a load of these puppies, man. No, I'm not kidding. So, literally I'm using this, right? I lost a little bit of weight. I'm utilizing this time. What about you? What are you using this time for? So are you getting in shape? Are you learning something? Are you organized? Our friend Mark went through all of his, he's a lawyer, he's paperwork all over the last 15 years in his house. And he actually went through all of his paperwork and has cleaned out everything. He says he has like an entirely new office, an entirely new house. He used that time to organize. I have students who have all of a sudden taken up meditation and they're working on their personal development, reading, studying like you are right now. What about utilizing it to better your relationships with your friends, with your family, with your spouse, with whoever you want to be close with, right? So utilizing it to better yourself and to prepare. Next, what about business? Again, I have been writing. What about you? A lot of people that never were training before are all of a sudden they become trainers and they're training their thing online or to produce products or whatever business you're in. Let's say you want, a lot of people say to me, Harv, I've been stuck in this job or this situation for years and years, and I have never had the impetus to get out and try something different. Listen, you've been locked down for a lot of you for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or at least, sheltered or whatever it is. Maybe some of you have been able to do things, but you're definitely still can't do everything. What have you done with this time? What are you doing with this time? Are you getting yourself ready? I had one of my students email me a couple of days ago that said, thank you. Similar information I was just saying to them. And literally, he used this time to write a new business plan for a business that he'd been thinking about for the last 10 years. And he never wrote the business plan. What are you doing to utilize this? Yes or yes? And the same thing. What about money? Michelle, she's never been involved in the stock market. She is learning the stock market. She's playing around with it. She's enjoying it, right? So it's time to learn, time to grow, time to get your money management together, all that kind of stuff. So all of these different things are an opportunity. What are they? What are they? What are they? Thank you, everybody, writing it down. Opportunity. It's been an opportunity, and you're going to utilize this time in your favor. Because let me ask you a question. What choices do you have? Here's your 3 choices. You can go, oh my God, this is terrible. Or you can go, I accept what is. Or you can go, how do I use what's happening here? How do I use it to benefit myself and to benefit others? So write that down, everybody. Utilization, one of the most powerful principles on this planet. I want you to know something, everybody. This is one of the things I teach in in our programs, including the one coming up here, is you're a magician. Write that down. I'm a magician. Write it down. I'm a magician. You are a magician. Because you could take the same circumstance and we can wave your magic wand on this circumstance, right? Wave your magic wand, and you, with your own mind, not BS, your own mind, by your perspective, by your frame, by the way you look at it, turn it into whatever it is. COVID virus. You with your wand, you're going to turn it into a disaster. You're going to turn it into, okay, it's not so bad. Or you're going to turn it into the greatest opportunity of your life. All with your magic wand, all with the way you decide to see it. You have to understand this. It isn't anything. One of the things I teach in really big, and I have a web class called Don't Believe a Thought You Think. And one of the real key things that people have to understand is that, and write this down because this is crazy, okay? See, you have a meaning creating machine. So this is something we teach in some of our other courses, but write it down. Nothing has meaning except for the meaning I give it. Nothing has meaning except for the meaning I give it. So you think that everything just has a meaning on its own, right? Does it really? Okay, let's find out. Here, I got some water here. Now, first of all, this water is called Essentia water. Now, I am not kidding you. When I was in Hawaii, I bought this water and I had a drink of it and I really, really liked the taste of it. And I said, this is one of the best tasting waters I've ever tasted. And so I decided that I was going to buy it, and I still have it. I still have it now, okay? I still drink this water. Here's what's interesting. I brought a 6-pack of the water to a friend's house, and he tasted the water, and you know what he said? Ew, it tastes like it's got like minerals or it's like hard water. You like this stuff? I went, this is the best water I've ever had. Ew, how could you like this? Question. Is the like or the not like with the water? Where is the like and the not like? The water? Is the water good or bad? Does the water taste good or bad? Where is that good or bad located, everyone? In the water? No. Right there. This is where good and bad and right and wrong and disaster or fantastic all live. Pretty, ugly, they're all right here. It's totally you. You are the one making the whole thing up, right? You have a mind that, because of the way it's structured to keep you alive, which we'll get into later, creates meanings, interpretations around everything and judgments. It's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. Let me say this right now, everybody. It isn't anything until you get there, and with your beliefs and your programs and your condition and what you learned and your judgments and your labels, you make it what it is. Now, I know I'm a little heavy here because this is the stuff I'm working on and writing right now. This is how you create your reality. You create your reality by infusing what it is with how you're thinking about it. So I'm going to say it again. It isn't anything until you get there. So here we are, virus. What is the virus? Good, bad, right, wrong, opportunity, terrible. It's whatever you decide it is. And whatever you decide it is what it becomes. I hope I didn't lose too many of you there, but if you're not ready for that right now, you will be ready as you move more into this type of language, all right? So I hope everybody got that. Utilization, that is critical. Here's what I want everybody do this, okay? Some of you are on your own, that's okay, most of you. I want you to give yourself a high five, and I want you to say, I utilize what is. Ready? Here we go. I utilize what is. Excellent. Good job, everybody. Good job. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for some people, isn't it? Because, you know, you have to be reasonable, okay? And what does that mean? It means, like, in this situation whereby so many people are hurting, okay? And you want to take advantage of the opportunities that are involved right now, but you don't want to take advantage of people. You want to take advantage of opportunities, okay? That's a big distinction. Everybody needs to write that down. You take advantage of opportunities, but not of people. You never, what's the word? Never, what's the word? Never, ever, 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 ever take advantage of people. Ever. You understand that? That is not the way to get rich. That is not the way to succeed. You don't try to pull one over. You don't try to trick anybody. You don't try to kick anybody when they're down. Never that shouldn't even be in your, I know there's some cultures that don't have a problem with that. I do. And I don't want anybody who's like that, who thinks about, I'm going to take advantage of people. I'm going to hurt people. Please don't ever buy anything of mine. Don't be a student of mine. That is just not the way we operate. We actually, we'll talk about it a little bit later, operate on the opposite strategy of helping people. The opposite, okay? So when the virus first occurred, all right, there were, and they're still ongoing, so many people that were doing good for others, and bless their hearts. And I'm sure a lot of you are those people, and wonderful. Hats off to you. My heart is with you. Beautiful. Okay. And a lot of people were gifting their whatever they could, whether it's some food or whether it's literally, helping with their time. But a lot of people, for example, information on whether it's Zoom calls or go to meetings or any other platform, we're starting to do trainings online. And people that were not in the business of training, like I'm in the business of training, Sandra's in the business of training. You might not be in the business of training. But now, instead of, let's say, 10,000 people being in the business of training, there was all of a sudden 1 million people in the business of training, right? Just training people on, like my Pilates teacher. So all of a sudden she goes from Pilates teacher to trainer. And then this person does it. So everybody's training. And a lot of people started giving away everything for free to help out. And fantastic. And if you can do that and you want to do that, then do it. And and so you can do it, or you can just make sure that whatever you're doing is truly and legitimately a fantastic situation for your possible clients, okay? So now 2 things here, watch. I'm gonna give you an example of both. So at our company, my online company, for example, we had 2 things going on. We had something where we were giving away things absolutely free. Now, here is the cool thing about giving away what you've got for free, everybody. How are you going to utilize that without taking advantage of people? Tell me how you're going to utilize. You're giving away trainings, information, methodology, whatever you're doing. You're giving it away for free. Restaurant, I don't care what you're doing, giving it away free. How will you use that? Let me see. Oh my God, that's fantastic. I had a bunch of people already got it. You build a loyal and heartfelt database from there, don't you? Say, yes, I do. So when, for example, we were giving away some of my talks, et cetera, and webinars and web classes for free, that sometimes even though we charge for free, guess what? All of a sudden, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people that didn't know us, but just by people virtually sending it and passing it along on Facebook or whatever, passing along, although we got probably an extra, I don't know, in about 2 weeks, maybe 10, 15,000 new fans, new people on our database, that when this subsides a bit, we can now go back to them and say, hey, this is some other stuff that we have if you're interested, good or good or good. So go ahead and give it for free, no problem. But don't be dumb about it, be smart about it, and at least don't you want to build that database and don't you want to keep those people with you? Well, of course you do. That's karma. That's what you get for helping people. Number 1. Number 2, as I said earlier, you can charge, but be incredibly reasonable. Like, here's an example. So I'll give you the exact numbers. In our company, we have different online programs, and we did a package of 4 programs that we sell literally every single day. They range anywhere from 400, 500, some are 380 or whatever it is. Every day we sell hundreds of these, okay? So we took this package of 4 programs that everyone could see online and everybody could see who knows us. It was $1,400 worth of 4 items, okay? You know what we offered it for? Because as a COVID special, $199. $199. That's not even half the price of one of them. Why did we do that? Just to help out. But we also let people know we're charging a little bit. Why? We have staff. We want to keep our staff on. We want them to continue to work. These people have families. We're not just necessarily going to say, hey, Sylvia, we got to lay you off. Or hey, Jimmy, I'm sorry, we're not making any money. You got to lay you off. No, we charge a minuscule amount, right? A ridiculously reasonable. You know how many thank you notes we're getting? Like, oh my God, like I just received this stuff. It's insane. $199? We had single programs that were $400 or $500 for $99. Why? To help out. But it doesn't have to mean you have to give the farm away. And if you do, you at least get the database. So 2 things to glean off of that, to get off of that. Number 1, you don't want to take advantage of people ever, 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 ever. So what do? You, number 1, either if you're going to gift it, but at least you've got the database. That's just intelligent give and take. Yes, give and receive, karma. Or number 2, if you're going to charge an extremely reasonable amount. And what does that do? Well, again, it builds some database. Again, you can make maybe a little money or at least pay your expenses, but it builds trust. It builds relationship. All right. And that the first word I just said was trust, was it not? Write that down. The most important thing to any business is trust. I know people don't talk about it. People don't think about it. But let me ask you this question. Are you ready, everyone? This is really important. All right. When you are doing business, you want people to buy something from you. Yes or yes? Hello? Yes. Okay. Everyone's going, yes. Man, there's a lot of people on this call. When I say yes, they just, yes. Okay. Like 1,000 people go, yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to buy them. Let me ask you a question. Would you want to buy something from someone you don't trust? There it is again. No. Of course not. We don't want to buy unless we absolutely have to. We don't like doing business with people that we don't trust. True or true? And so trust is the number 1 reason people will want to do business with you, because they like you and they trust you and they love what you have to offer. But I can tell you right now, if you don't build trust with your audience, with your clients, with your whoever, anybody, any relationship will be a disaster. If you want to build a relationship with your husband or your wife, with your kids, with your boss, with your clients, with your students, with anybody, with your friends, the number 1 thing is they must do what? Thank you, James. They must trust you. And so when you provide a fantastic opportunity for somebody, a product or service, whatever, or you're giving people away, whatever, and you do it with a clean and beautiful heart, and you really care, and you really help people, guess what? They trust you. And you need to maintain that trust. And so, yes, I understand that some people are going, well, it's not right to profiteer. You're not profiteering. You're not taking advantage of someone. Just the opposite. You want to assist them in the best and support them in the best way you can. And, let me just say one more thing about this so you all get this. There is the most important thing, when it comes to the base of your business and how you do business is, where are you truly coming from? You as a person, where are you coming from? Let's just cut to the chase, okay? No bullshit. There's a lot of people who come from, I'm trying to make as much money as I possibly can. I need to feed my family. I want to get rich. I want to buy that car. I want to buy that house. I want to buy that boat. I want to make mega millions. I'm trying to make as much money as I possibly can. That's a way of thinking. That is not my way of thinking. That is not what I teach. To me, that is very shallow and short-lived and will not move you very forward into the future, okay? What I like to suggest is that when you think about your business, you come from, and I don't mean to be hokey, but you really come from your heart. You really come from a place of wanting to assist people. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. In fact, we should probably get into this. Let's just get into it a bit right now. So this is my overriding philosophy. And let me encourage people to model this. Why? Because it works. It works to create wealth for yourself, and it really works in the arena of business, and it really works with the resonance of your heart. Okay, it's I think a beautiful way of doing business. And let me start from the beginning. Okay, so we talked about the mindset. That's the first thing that has to be in place. That I want to show this right now. Most of you don't know this, but I have another book. You're kidding. Yeah, I'm going to show it to you right now. Not asking you to buy it or anything, but you see it? Let me see. Yeah. It's called The Good Millionaire. I'm showing it to you so you can see the title. The Good Millionaire, How to Make a Lot of Money by Helping a Lot of People. What? Yes. So that's the first mindset shift that people have to have, is that a lot of people believe that to make a lot of money, you have to screw people. You have to take advantage of people. You have to browbeat them. You have to sell them, whatever it is. You can't be a good person and try to do good in the world and get rich, okay? Let me tell you this right now. That is a broke mindset. That is broke in terms of, you're not going to make as much money as you think, and I'll tell you why in a second here, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and let me explain why, all right? So the first thing is, I want everybody to understand this, and I want everybody to say this out loud and give yourself a high five and say it out loud, then I want you to write it. Here, I'm going to start the high five. Ready? I am a good millionaire. All together, let's go. I am a good millionaire. Write it down. I am a good millionaire. Good. That means you're a good person. You're a helpful person. Okay. You're a good person. And how many of you want to be rich and be a good person? A good person, a hearty person, a kind person, a generous person, and really freaking rich. Yes? Yeah, very good. I get a lot of yeses. Yeah, I want to be kind, rich, generous. That's one of the things they say. People say, well, what's different about people learning from you, Harv, versus learning elsewhere? I go, well, I don't know about every elsewhere. How do I know? But I say that, I have a belief system, a philosophy that says, listen closely, that you can be kind, generous, loving, balanced, and spiritual, and really, really frickin' rich. All of them, good or good or good. And if that resonates with you, then we're a good match. And if you think you need to screw everybody, then we are not a good match. And I'm going to show you right now how that doesn't work, if that's okay. So, all right. So the first thing is, you've got to have a supportive belief to this outset. And again, you have to believe that money is a good thing and that you're a good person and that you're not taking away from anybody by having money. I mean, that's one, we should cover that one right away, because you'll go, well, if I have more, other people will have less. What? What mathematics are you using? If you have more, other people will automatically have less. What are you taking away their money? Listen, my friends, there are hundreds of trillions. What's the one after trillion? Gazillion? Hundreds of gazillions of money in all currencies in the world. Okay? There's enough for everybody to have lots of money. And yes, some people will have more and some people will have less, but it's not because you're taking it from them. It's because of them and themselves, because they have not created or learned to have a mindset enough to earn that kind of money. And you have. Let me say this right now, just so you know, everybody, there's been studies done that talk about this as well, because they talk about something called redistribution, especially in America and the whole socialist side of things. They're saying, you know, rich people are getting richer and poor people are getting poorer. And what we should do is take all of the money and away from the rich people and give it to the poor people and give everybody the same amount. And everybody has the same amount of money. And that's all fine and dandy, except for one tiny little problem. Would you like to know what it is? Here it is. In 5 years, it'll all be back in the same hands that it is right now. All of it. The broke people will lose it all. The rich people will make it all. Why? Because it's not about the money. It's about the mentality. It's about their willingness to work hard. It's about their willingness to take action. It's their willingness to overcome fear. It's their willingness to their confidence. It's all these things that make up success. People that are unsuccessful will stay unsuccessful and be more, and people that are successful will be more successful. Why? Because of the way they got to that success. They'll continue to do that. Does that make sense? So let's get off the ridiculous notion that if I have more, someone else automatically has less. That's ridiculous, okay? You can have hundreds of millions of dollars and your next door can have that too, okay? So you might as well be one of the people that have it, because why? Because with that money, if you're a good person, then you could do what? You can help other people, right? Let me ask you a simple question. Who do you help by being broke? I ask you a question. Tell me. Oh, I got a lot of answers. Nobody. No, that's right. The best thing, I'm saying this, is the best thing you could do for people that are broke is not be one of them. So instead of being, so you don't have to be one of the takers instead of one of the givers. If you have money and a lot of money, you can help a lot of people. You can put wings on hospitals. You can put wellness places together. You can really help people because you don't need it. Like I'll be right up front with you right now. I was invited to be on this program right now. Financially makes less than zero difference to me. Less than zero. Like it does. Whatever we got, you could go on my website and buy 100,000 of every product, okay, and pay $100,000 for every one of them. And I guarantee you will not change my lifestyle 1/1,000,000%. There's no more money that I need, or I'm getting rid of houses. I mean, nothing. You understand that? That's where you want to come from. Because this way you can just help because you want to help, right? Okay. So number one is mindset. Now, this is the critical thing. Everyone needs to understand this. People ask me all the time, Harv, how do I make money? How do I make more money? How do I make more money? All right, first of all, you have to understand, nobody makes money. This is important, everybody. You need to get all of these principles here. So write that down, okay? Nobody makes money. You don't make money. The only people that make money, they work at the mint. They work at the mint, okay? The rest of us have to what? We have to earn. What's the word? Earn money. And that little distinction is a big distinction. You have to what? Earn money. Thank you. All right. So how do you earn money? Well, let me ask you this question. Where does all your money come from? Write that down in the chat box. Tell me where all your money comes from. Okay, I got business, banks, the universe. Thank God. Very good. Nature. Very good. Yeah, working hard. Thank you. None of those are accurate. Here's where all your money comes from. Write it down. You ready? All your money comes from one place. Other people. Other people. You see, cows and stars and all these other things. They don't necessarily, the only thing that deals in the currency called money, that uses money, is people. People use it, okay? And so this is very, 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 very important, everyone. You got to get the base, the foundation of this. So where do you get all your money from? Thank you, everybody. Other people. Say that with me, please. I get all my money from other people. Thank you. Good. So now here's a question. Why would someone give you their money? Well, why would you give someone else your money? And the reason is people give you their money and you give other people your money because they want to have a big or little problem solved. So they give you their money because they perceive that you can solve a big or little problem for them. In other words, they give you their money to solve a problem, okay? So that is the most critical thing you can really understand as a business person, is that why will people give you their money? Because they want their problem solved. And that's what they're hoping you can do. Now listen closely. The definition of an entrepreneur or even a person who's in a job is a person, write this down, a person who solves problems for people at a profit or for pay. A person who solves problems for people at a profit or for pay. So say this with me, please. I get paid for solving problems. Right again. I get paid for solving problems. So what are you? What are you? That's right, you got it. I am a problem solver. Say that, please. I am a problem solver. Again, I am a problem solver. So here's the thing. If you want to make money, raise your hand. Okay, some people are kind of doing that. If you want to make money, say yes. Okay, say yes, that's better. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. If you want to make money, don't focus on money. Why? Because, write it down, money is a result. Understand? Money is a result. Write that down. Money is a result. Now you tell me, a result of what? Thank you. A result of solving problems for people. Hallelujah. Thank you. You got it. That's how you have money. That's why people give you money, to solve a problem for them. So you don't be focusing on money. Okay, that's not where it's at. Money is a result. You focus on what? Focus on solving a problem for people. All right? That's the critical element. Now, here's the thing. Now, how many of you would like to make money? I'm going to ask again. Say yes. Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. All right. Now, how many of you would like to make a lot of money? Very good. Yes. Okay, good. Everyone's got yes. I love how fast. It's incredibly fast when there's a lot of people on the call. Oh my God. It's like, yes, yes, yes. Okay. So yes, you said you want to make money. And yes, you said you want to make a lot of money. Would you like to know how to make a lot of money? How do you make a lot of money? Who can tell me? Working. No. What did I just say? That's right. You got it. Okay. So now listen closely. This is what people just don't understand. Okay. You get paid money. You get money for solving, even if you're in a job, you get paid for solving a problem for your employer. Okay. That if you don't get paid for solving a problem, you're useless. Okay. They're going to get rid of you. So how do you make money? Okay. If you help one person, stay with me on this. With you, solve their problem, your reward, you get paid one money, okay? One person, you get paid one money. Great. Now, let's say you help some people. Now what happens? You make what? Some money, okay? One person you help, you get one money. Some people, you get some money. Okay. Now, the easy answer. How do you make a lot of money? By what? You got it, you guys. I'm proud of you. By helping a lot of people, right? So you make one money by helping one people, you make some money by helping some people. And if you want to make a lot of money, what do you have to do? Help a lot of people. So where does your energy and focus have to be? What do you need to be thinking about? Where does your heart have to be? Well, all that stuff. Where does it all have to be, right? It all has to be very, very simple. And that is, if you want to make a lot of money, you have to put your attention and focus on helping a lot of people, not on making a lot of money. That is a result. I never, ever, 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 ever think of making money. Never, ever, ever. I never. Sure, you have to handle the money side in your accounting and your financials and all that. I never, I got accountants and all that, bookkeepers that handle laws. I don't think about that. I think about one thing. How many people can I help? What can I put together that can help people? And then it's like, I want to be a what? I want to be a good millionaire. So do you want to be a good millionaire? So as a good person, do you want to help more people or less people? How many people would rather help more people than less people? Yes. Okay. Everyone says, I would rather help more people than less people. Then why would you stop at helping one person? Why would you stop at helping some people? Why wouldn't you consistently put your focus on helping more and 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 more people as best as you and improving the way you help them so that it's no BS. It's really helping them. The way you handle it, the way you solve a problem really solves their problem, really helps them. Like I know for a fact now, I have close to 3 million students. I hear from people 100 times a day all over the world, okay? So, and thank goodness for that, because they keep me in the loop and I hear cons and quotes. But I know that what I teach, especially when it starts with the mind, really, really changes people's lives. I know it. They tell me, oh, they'll go like, I don't even teach real estate. I had somebody about maybe 2 months ago send me a check. I'm not asking people to do that. They send me a check. It says, give back to the source is one of the philosophies in the Bible, I guess. So they send me a check for $100. Said, this is just a small token of my appreciation, giving back to the source. This is what happened to me. That they write me this whole letter about how they went from broke to multimillionaire, literally in 6 years. 6 years with real estate. And I'm saying to myself, what the hell? I don't even teach real estate. What are they even talking? Do they have the right guy? Is this addressed to me? What? It's Harv Eker? You have to know him? So I actually took the time to write this guy back. I emailed him back. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't even teach real estate. And he writes me back. He says, no, you don't teach real estate, but without what you would have taught me about how the mind works and how to master your mind and how to make your mind your servant instead of you being the slave, and how to handle fear and how to gain your confidence and all those type of things, how to work with your mind, I would have never, ever, ever bought my first piece of real estate and continued, especially when the shit hit this fan, when it started getting tough. He says, I've been thinking about buying real estate for 23 years before I started learning from you. And then literally the week after my class with you, I started buying. Now I'm a multi-millionaire. So yeah, I know that what I teach helps people. You know that what you do for people really, really, really helps people. Okay, makes a little or big difference in their life. And now the only question is, a couple of them. First of all, how do you help people? What do you help people with, right? And so the question is, what's my vehicle? Here's the question you want to ask yourself. Which problem do I solve for people? What problem do I solve for people? How many people I want to get a little poll here. How many of you know the exact problem you solve for people? Let me see. I got a lot of yes. I got a lot of no's. I got a lot of not sure's. Okay, great. Thank you for that. How many of you, you're not quite sure which problem you should be solving for people? Okay, I got a lot of those. Great. Want to transition? Yeah, okay, got it. Okay. So the first thing you have to do is, now that you know that you get paid for what? Solving a problem for people, right? The second thing here now is, what problem do you solve? And the answer to that is, what I say is, where your heart, your head, and your hands all meet up with the demand of the marketplace. So your heart, your head, and your hands all meet up with the demand of the marketplace. So really, your heart, what do you care about? Here's a question. What do you want to help people with? So let's say I know for a fact that this lip stuff is a great lip stuff. It's awesome. It's helps people not get burnt on their lips. It moisturizes. It's this, that. It's very smooth. It helps people, yada, yada, yada. Great. I know that. And someone says, Harv, you know what? You could make $1 million off of this. It's brand new. You're going to have the exclusive rights worldwide. You're a good marketer. I want you to take this on. And I say to them, thank you, but no thanks. Why? Boom. I don't care about this stuff. It's not in my heart. It's not who I am. It's got no pertinence to my life at all. But you can make a lot of money. I don't care. That's not how you make a lot of money. I can tell you right now, I spent many of my years, for those who know my story, I spent 10 years being completely broke, destitute, no money. Literally, I had to choose almost every night if I was going to put $5 of gas in my car or eat dinner that night. And many nights there was no dinner because I had to put some money into the car, or I just didn't have any money. And there's a reason for that. Can I tell you the reason? I don't mean to jump around, but can I tell you the reason? This is the reason. Because I spent that decade trying to find a vehicle, a business that was already doing well, a product that was already doing well, or the next hottest thing that was making money for other people that I would just jump into, and then I'd make money too. But it didn't work. It didn't happen. I was broke, and I went through 10 different businesses that didn't work at all. And they worked for other people, but they didn't work for me. And I learned one of the most important lessons of my life. And that is, if you just go for money, you're going to be broke in the end. Okay. You got to go for what resonates with you, who you are, what you believe in, especially something that maybe has helped you and has helped you in your life in some way, shape, or form. And now you can help other people. You don't have to be perfect. Okay. If, let's say, I have a friend who actually I was just having dinner with, Steve Euler, and he learned this stock market methodology many years ago, but he was in the mortgage business, didn't have time for it, but he always wanted to do it. Anyways, he sold his mortgage company, and he got, maybe 5 years ago, got involved with this stock market system that literally only he uses. Okay. It's a method he learned a long time ago, but it's not big anymore, but he uses this method. This guy kills it. This guy is making fortunes. Doesn't matter what the market does. He makes fortune. Every day he talks to him. How'd it go? I made 4,000 today. How'd it go? I made 8,000 today. How'd it go? I made 3,000 today. Did you lose? Yeah, I lost yesterday a few bucks, but yeah, I made it 3,000 back. He's killing it. And I said, so you know, what are you going to do with this? He says, I'm going to package this up. I have to package this up. I believe in this. This has changed my life so much. I never have to worry about money again. I'm totally free. My kids are free. We've got houses all. I need to get this out there to people. That's what you need to be able to say in your heart. I need to get this out there to people. I care about this. You understand? All right. Also, you need, let's go quickly, you need your head and your hands, which means your knowledge. You have to know something about it. You have to know about it, and you have to be good at it. But none of this makes a difference if there's no demand for it, if nobody wants what you've got, okay? So that's the critical thing here. How do you work with knowing, whether people want this or not and whether it's important to people? I want to give it to you very, very straight up, okay? The demand is based on something else. And the question is, what is that based on? What is that based on? People are always asking me this question, Harv, what are the best opportunities? What are the best opportunities now? What can I do? And the answer is this. Listen closely. This is a mindset shift that will make you a fortune. Write it down, everybody. Are you ready? Don't look for opportunities. I'm going to repeat that. Don't look for opportunities. Look for problems. Look for problems. Why? Well, first of all, when you say an opportunity, there's a million definitions of opportunities, yes or yes. You don't know what do you mean by an opportunity exactly? But everybody knows what a problem is. A problem is a problem is a problem. It's something that creates pain, right? Or it could create pain. So instead of looking for opportunities, which are very hard to find, you look for problems, which are what? Easy to find. Problems are easy to find. If I said to you right now, give me 5 opportunities right now, you're going to go, But if I said, give me 5 problems that are in your life right now, just name them, rattle them off, anything. Well, this frickin' connection is really slow. It's blurry all the time. Good, problem. I can't, my phone is my phone, the screen is cracked. Oh, okay, problem. Look at this, I'll tell you what, right here, I'm giving you my stuff, okay? I'm going for stem cell therapy next Wednesday because I'm getting a little bit of, unfortunately, some arthritis in my finger here, and I had stem cell in my toe and it helped. So I'm going to get it here. Problem, arthritis, big freaking problem, right? So always looking for problems are easy. We have a tendency to look at problems because our mind, I'll talk about this a little bit later, our mind is very, very good at picking out problems. In fact, that's what your mind constantly does. Your mind is always looking for problems. It's always looking for what's wrong or could go wrong in any and all situations. That's the way it's built. And there's a reason for it, so we'll talk about that later. But you have to understand that you're very good at finding problems, aren't you? You are great. Raise your hand and say, I'm great at finding problems, right? How many are great at finding problems? Yeah, you got problems. You got 1,000 problems a day, right? You pick them out like that. All right. So this is the critical thing that I want everyone to get part of this here. Don't look for opportunities. If you want to get rich, look for problems. Because what do you do? Oh, didn't we learn something about problems? Problem solving, look for problems and solving that problem that you care about, you can help people with. Solving that problem, what is what you focus on to get what? Did someone say to get rich? Yes, that's right. Because in every single situation that's a real problem for people, on the other side of that, they want that problem solved. And when you solve that problem, the result of it is they pay you. And when they pay you and enough people pay you, the result of that is called rich. That's how it goes. You solve that problem for a lot of people. Okay. Why don't we do this? Why don't we talk about the COVID thing, the COVID-19, and let's talk about some of the problems, okay? And let's see if we can come up with some of the problems that people are experiencing and some of the situations on the other side of that people have come up with on the other side to solve that problem, okay? So you can actually, as I've taught many people, you can actually come up with $1 million ideas every 60 seconds. And the way to do that is simply by looking for problems. So all you do is you take a piece of paper and you list 10 problems. I wish we were live in a seminar right now, that I could have you in my room and we could actually wait and you can do this another time, okay? So you just list out problems that are having right now, okay? So I want to give you some thoughts to get your mind moving a little bit about how there are certain problems out there right now that are in this time of the virus, and listen closely, will continue. Mark my words, watch my words, will continue after the virus. Why will problems or situations or even opportunities that people are having right now during this situation now, during this virus, why will they continue? Anybody know? Who can tell me? Who's got it? Daniel, Sharif, Isabel, you got it. Because people are creatures of what, everybody? Habit. And did you know people are starting to form new habits right now? Situations and things that they would never have done before, all of a sudden they're doing it. So let me give you just, since we're at it, a couple of thoughts. And you tell me if these are feasible. All right. At the beginning of this virus situation, when they first started talking about maybe there were some lockdowns in Italy, I recall. And then in America, they started saying, wait, what if there's people like they lock it down here? And everyone's going, nah, it's not going to come here. They're not going to lock down things, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, then about 2 days later, I heard something online. Actually, my son and daughter-in-law told me, he said, we have a friend in Congress and he's got a friend and he's blah, blah, blah. And he says they may lock down the country. They may lock down. I said, what? Are you kidding? So me and Michelle hopped in our car and we actually already were smart enough to wear gloves. They told us not to wear masks. We went to the grocery store and we bought $3,000 worth of stuff, okay? Everything from paper goods to, light bulbs to burners to foods to everything that was available that we felt if we get stuck in the house for a month or 2 or 3 and we cannot, and all the grocery stores are closed, how are we going to survive? This was the cool thing. So Michelle, she's so amazing, okay? She says, well, let's just get stuff enough for about a month, the good stuff, because we already have a survival kit at home. I went, what? She says, yeah, we have a survival kit at home. It's in the back corner of the garage. I'm surprised you never saw it. I went, I didn't know. So we get home, we unload all this stuff. Literally, the car is just full of everything, and you can imagine just packed in there. And she goes to the back corner of the garage and she shows me this huge blue tub of water. And then she shows me this huge orange tub, huge, of granulated powdered vegetables. And then she shows this huge yellow vat of granulated proteins, meaning it's basically space age food that you can live on for a year and survive. Okay? I didn't even know she bought it. Then she shows me this, gas burner thing. She showed me like 80 batteries, 7 flashlights, and then all this stuff in shelves that I never saw before. And she had purchased this survival kit. And I'm going, thank you so much for buying this because I feel safe. Here's a question. Survival kits. Do you think people are going to forget this anytime soon? Do you think people are going to be, oh yeah, the virus thing is gone for right now, because we all know it can come back, right? Or they say it could come back, can come back anytime, or another one can come. So what about if this resonates for you and you care about this? You know, you don't even have to know much about it. You can, for all these things, you can just be the person that coordinates this. But, you know, why not sell a survival package, a package that has a $500 package, a $2,000 package, a $5,000 package, a $25,000 package, all these different packages of different elements that come with the package, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and here's one for you. What if you sold this kit and certain things, for example, would expire in, say, some of it in 3 months, some of it in 6 months, some of it in a year. And it was a membership club. And so that you buy this for, let's say, $2,000, but you pay, you know, $100 a month, and every 3 months you get this to replace that, and every 6 months you get this to replace that. So it's an ongoing thing. So you always know you can survive. Okay. So what is that? Is survival a big problem for people? It's life or death. But if someone emailed me now and said, listen, we are in the business of survival packages. Here's our product line. You can buy this, and this food, that. I would be all over that type of thing. Okay, I'm just giving you examples here. Here's another thing that happened from this virus situation. How many of you know that, especially when there was places that were locked down, et cetera, that at least in America, 85% of all people that worked in offices were sent home to work. Sent home to work. Now, here's what's going to happen. I'm telling you this right now. Throw it out if you want. I'm telling you right now. Working from home is here to stay now for good, okay? For good. Working from home is here to stay. The last thing I'd want to get into right now is commercial office building real estate. You know why? Because if I was a big company or a small company or a medium company, and I had 500 employees and they all just went home, and even without any special training, I was able to keep my efficiency of my business going, the company going at 80 or 90% of effectiveness and profitability, et cetera. And I could get rid of this $1 million a month albatross of rent that I'm paying that I don't need anymore. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would have 10 people instead of 500, maybe in an office, the executives, or maybe not, and everybody else works from home. Home offices, here to stay. Can you be in the home office business? I was in the home exercise equipment business. Can you be in the home offices? Again, you can package up equipment and desks and computers and microphones and this and that, everything one needs for a home office, okay? All this office equipment for the home, it is here to stay. I have a lot of people are, if you look online, they're saying one of my biggest problems is right now, you hear what problem, what is it? People are working so much harder and longer because they're at home. They don't have to commute and they got their family there, et cetera, et cetera. They're working to all hours of the night and people are getting burnt out. Have you read about this? People are saying, my biggest problem is I have no work-life balance anymore. When I went to the office, I came home, I didn't work much, okay? Now I'm here all the time, I'm always working. And plus, here's why. My boss knows when I'm working and when I'm not, when I'm online and not, when I'm working and not. And they're monitoring me, and I don't want to look like I'm lazy. So I want to show that I'm worth it. So people are losing their lives. Information, course, training, how to create successful work-life balance and create wealth or whatever it is, okay? Work-life balance is going to be huge. Here's another one. Another problem. People have been in fear. People have been, and we'll get to that one, mental health we're talking about. So socializing platforms, for online platforms. So now I've been using Zoom a lot more than many other people that I ever used to, for I should say. I never used to use it except for seminars. Now I do it for calls, for friends. You know, I have 8 friends. We're on a Zoom call, et cetera, et cetera. Social. When my daughter was here, she was on these. She was at discotheques and bars and these DJs playing all on online platforms, right? And so that's going to stay. And you can take any little part of that and say, okay, how do I get involved in that? Parties. You could be a home party planner and literally you have 50 people at your party, okay? Same thing with sports. Sports are having huge issues. A lot of people, even when sports come back, fans are not going to want to go. So can you sell, for example, when there's going to have stuff on the games are going to be on TV, but you're not going to be able to go or you won't go. So what about the fan experience, whether it's jerseys, whether it's this or that? So let's say everybody's for the Madrid, the Barcelona team, and now everybody's got T-shirts, and everyone's got. So again, just think outside the box. Here's what people are going to need to do that, my friends. One of the biggest things that's going to happen for this is delivery. If you're not sure of that, why don't you see how Amazon is doing? They have been killing it. Everybody was laying off people. Amazon hired 100,000 new workers. 100,000. And then when you go on Amazon to at the beginning, when you said, okay, delivery, which would normally be in Prime, Amazon Prime, overnight, it said, sorry, 2 to 3 week delivery time because we're so freaking crazy busy. My friends, delivery of everything. Delivery of everything, whether you're in the stuff to be delivered or you're in the software side of it, anything to do with delivery. I have one of my students, he saw that we have many food delivery things, but they all come and they're all, in their own clothes and that. You know what he's doing? He just got one of the biggest food delivery companies. He just got the contract for doing all their uniforms. They never even thought they would ever have uniforms. He said, you guys look horrendous when you come. Yada, 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 yada. That's like a thief is coming to my house. You should look like this. He showed them the uniform, the design. They loved it. They're buying it, okay? And guess what? He doesn't even have to do anything with it. He's just the one who designed it. As a hobby, he does, fashion design. So he designed this uniform. They bought it. They're doing it. You guys going to make a royalty of, listen to this, somewhere about 3 to 4%. They're expecting to buy over $20 million of uniforms. Okay. That's not bad. Okay. So think about everything. Now, just so you know, this is an interesting tidbit about understanding technology. So technology is already booming and it's going to boom even more because people aren't going to be needed at their job anymore. It's all going to be technology. Understand? So do things. There's also all these people that are unemployed, people that are hurting for money. What can you do to help people earn money? What can you do to help people get jobs? Can you be a resume person? Can you be how to create a resume? How do you do the interview? Can you be the person that helps people with small businesses? Can you be the person that helps people with marketing, help people with hiring, whatever it is, helping small business owners, right? All that kind of stuff. So, and then the online teaching. Oh my God, are you joking me? Online teaching? It was already big. Multiply by 10 exponentially. Everything is going to be online for teaching now. So you might be a teacher, or you might find a niche within that on the software side, the hardware side, the demonstration side. Where's my virtual flip chart? How do you make it easier? And what about this? How many of you, since you have to teach online now for the most part, or you're going to teach a lot online, how many of you would like to become a millionaire online trainer? How to learn how to become a millionaire online trainer, how to train effectively online for it to produce wealth for yourself and for others. How many would like to learn that? Yes, I got all over. Yes. Guess what? That course doesn't even exist. I just freaking made it up. Because people need to. Okay, going to train online. Got to be a good trainer. Want to learn how to make money online? Boom, there you go. All right. So all of these things, and I could go on for the next 24 hours with opportunity. Why? Because I'm not looking for opportunities. I'm looking for problems. One of the biggest problems people have is what? Mental health. They're in fear. They're looking, everything's a problem. They're anxious. They've got anxiety. They've got anger. Why is this happening? Why do I have to stay home? They're angry with their relationships, with their kids. There's all kinds of stuff going on right now with mental health, with helping people, do better and be happier. Yeah, how do you get started? That's one of the biggest problems for people, right? Because you have all these great ideas and good opportunities, and you understand now that you have to look for problems and you have to solve a specific problem for people, and you get that, and you're working on that. But then Harv goes off the call now, and now what happens? Here's what happens for most people. Nothing happens. Why? Because the number one key to success is, write it down, everybody, action. It's action. You've got to take action. You got to take what you learned and put it into place. But I can say that to 1,000 people, and they'll all go, yeah, I take action. I'll take action. I will do that. I'll do that. Right. And do they do it? No. And there's one reason. And this one reason is the killer of every single possibility that you have. It's the killer to success. It's the killer to happiness. The killer. And the killer is fear. Fear. And why is it such a killer? Very simple. It's the number one reason most people will never create wealth. Understand this. We have a mind, right? And your mind is, listen closely now, it's a survival-based mechanism. Its job is not to help you thrive. Its job is to make sure you survive. That's it. So its job is protection, and therefore it's based in fear. It's kind of like a bodyguard, okay? You have a bodyguard called your mind, and that bodyguard's job is to keep you safe. And one of the ways it keeps you safe is by keeping everything the same. Because if everything's the same, you're safe now. So it thinks if everything's the same, you'll be okay. But if you start to make some changes, or you want to make some changes, immediately a voice will come into your head and it will say something usually non-supportive, like, who are you kidding? This isn't going to work. I didn't understand that. I don't know enough about this. I'm not sure I could do it. I have other things to think about. Blah, 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 blah. How many of you know what I mean? And there it goes, on and on and on. We call this part, this terminology, we call this mind frick. Mind frick. Some of you might think it says mind F something else, but it's not. Mind frick has a mind friction. You're trying to go, but your mind has friction. You have friction. It's holding you back. Your mind holds you back, all right? Now, here's what the thing about it. Your mind is always looking, because it's like a bodyguard. If it was a good bodyguard, let me ask you a question. Would a good bodyguard be looking for what's right in your life? Why? That's not its job. A bodyguard looks for what? What's wrong, or what could go wrong in every and all situations. You go into a room, the first thing your bodyguard looks for is, hey, can anything go wrong here? You're gonna take on a new project. Your bodyguard goes, hey, what can go wrong? Hey, this might go wrong. Don't do this. You might lose money at this. You don't even have enough to. How are you going to pay your mortgage? Blah, 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 blah. It stops you, and stops you. Why? Because that's its job, to stop you. Here's the thing everybody has to understand. what is the number one root cause of your success? You. You are the root of your success. You are the source. You are the root. Now, what about you? What about you? Is it your leg that's going to create success? Is it your eye that's going to? No, it's your mind. So we have a formula that many of you know me for, and that is your thoughts lead to your feelings, which lead to your actions, which lead to your results. Again, thoughts lead to feelings, lead to your actions, lead to your results. So, what creates your results? Your actions. And what creates your actions? Your thoughts, or thoughts that create no action or poor action. And so that's the problem, that we are in fear, because that's what our bodyguard does. It creates fears, doubts, worries, unconfidence, anxieties. How many of you know what I mean? Have you experienced this even with this COVID situation? It's like, oh my God, if you watch the news, you are deathly afraid, okay? So what do? Number one, here's the thing. You've got to learn to, and this is the most important thing you could do. The most important thing you could do in your entire life is this. You must learn to master your mind. You must learn to train your mind to support you, to work for you instead of against you, where it almost always does when it goes onto its default mode. When your mind is a survival-based mechanism, fight or flight, okay? It's natural. Your mind will always find and look for what's wrong or what could go wrong. And if you don't train it, and if you don't master it, your life will be a disaster. All of everything you've got so far and everything you don't have so far has been determined by how well you have mastered your mind, by how well you understand your mind, by how well you can, let's call it, work with your mind to make sure that it is not in your way, and that it, listen closely, will actually turn around and support your success instead of constantly badgering you about what's wrong, what could go wrong, fear. And that's what it normally does. And so I just want to complete with, people say, oh, that's, your mind, the mind thing's kind of foo-foo. It's like, just teach me how to make money in real estate, how to make money in business, how to make money in stocks. You know what that's like saying? It's like in a computer, it's like, just teach me how to type on the computer. Okay? That's nice. Have you ever heard of software? Because you're dealing with the hardware, the business, the stocks, the real estate, that's all hardware stuff. Okay? The mind, that's the software. And as you know, you can have all the most beautiful hardware you want, but if the software isn't working properly, if the software's got viruses, quote unquote, inside it, you are finished. It's over. You're done. You can have the best business, the best business knowledge. You can have the best vehicle. You can have the best, job. You can have the best understanding of stocks and real estates and bonds and all those things. But if your mind isn't working for you, if your mind has got a virus in it, which it does, they all do. If your mind is the one who's blocking you, which is his job is to block you. Remember this, everybody. Your conditioned mind's job is to stop you. It's to block you. It says, don't go into that. Don't fall in that manhole. But it doesn't say manhole. It says, don't start that business. Don't do that thing. Don't walk up to that person. Don't make that call. That's what it says. It says, don't says manhole. It says all these other millions of other things that could have you a lot happier and a lot more successful. And that's what you have to understand. So Bottom line, I can tell you this right now.
或者了解债券，
With
但是如
this
果您的脑袋
situation we have with the COVID virus, it's very, very simple.
没有正常
There
的
are going to be
没有
a
病，
lot of people who go
如果你
broke
处
because of
理你的
this.
脑袋里面潜意识
There's going to be a lot of people who kind of float around and
想忘记
just kind of hang on and just
没
make it.
有去训练好的话，
And there's going to be
你的
some
就是阻
people
碍，也就是阻
who
碍，
get
就是
rich.
不要做，
And I'm
不要
praying
改变，
that a lot of those some people who get rich
不要开
are
始，
you right now.
不要去
But I
找
can
你
tell
爱
you
人
right now,
投爱
number
不要
one
做
blocker of that, by far,
400万
by
个
far,
不可以
if everything else is one, this is 1,000, is the voice in your head. It's your mind. And if you don't know how it works and how to train it, and you're believing all the stuff it says in there, you have got no chance. You got no chance. You're fighting up. If you want, Ray, let me ask you one question. How many of you have tried really hard in your life so far, but you're just not getting where you want to get to the extent you want to get? The reason? Right there, right there. You're going to come up with 20. If I said, what are the reasons, you would go down the street of, well, it's them and it's this. And I tried that and it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all right here. This is the beginning of it. This is the end of it. You understand that? Thanks for having me. And I love everybody and bless you all and all my best. And my heart goes to you.
“好，亲爱的所有的家人们，可以看到老师了吗？感谢哈佛艾克老师带给我们的精彩智慧的分享。我相信此时此刻，我们线上的每一位的家人都一定有非常大的收获，大家同意吗？对，刚刚我也跟大家一起一样，认真用心的来聆听老师的分享，而且呢，已经记了好多的笔记。那我真的非常的感谢，因为我在2019年就有机会听到老师的分享，也让到我自己完全的打开了自己的思维。我一直告诉我自己，我是一个富人的脑袋，我拥有一个富人的脑袋，我要能够听富人的话。对，所以大家知道吗？来，我们接下来大家跟老师一起在屏幕上，我们来互动一下。那通过哈维艾克老师的这100多分钟的演讲，我们在这里特别感谢一下我们的翻译老师啊，真的特别棒，声情并茂的再来跟大家来去把哈维克老师的精华来传递给大家。你有感受到了吗？所以我们感谢我们2位老师的付出。那我也邀请你在屏幕上来跟老师来互动一下。那通过刚刚的这一段分享，你收获到了什么呢？对你最大的这种感受，最大的这种感悟是什么呢？那我听完哈维艾克老师的分享，在2019年的时候，真的就让到我自己的思维彻底的改变了。对，我要拥有富人的思维，我有一个有钱人的脑袋，我不再像过去一样打压自己，我觉得自己这个不可以，那个不可以，这个不行，那个不行。我不断的按照老师教我们的来，要训练自己的大脑，要训练自己的思维方式。所以呢，我不断的每天早上睁开眼睛我起床，然后在洗漱的时候，我就对着镜子说，我有一个有钱人的脑袋，我有富人的思维，我有富人的格局，我有富贵的气质，我有富足的能量。我不断的来训练自己所以亲爱的家人们，就在2020年的疫情到现在，那在这样的一个非常大的挑战的阶段，很多人都不太理解，我投资超过了200多万的学费来投资自己的大脑。那如果不是因为能够参加陈姿的这样的一个又一个的课程，给到我这样的启发，那说实在的，我真的不敢在这样的一个这么有挑战的阶段，真金白银的投资200多万来学习但因为我学习了之后，我明白了，越是在危机的时候，我们每一个人更需要的是智慧，我们更需要的是那份能量，我们更需要的是这份坚定的信念，我们更需要的是在危机当中能够看到新的机会。大家同意吗？如果你同意的话，在屏幕上来跟老师 回复一下，互动一下，我同意。所以呢，我投资了200多万的学费啊，然后来学习啊，然后不断的来去让到自己去学到更多的能力，因为我明白了哈佛艾克所讲的，我们如果想成为有钱人，我们想真的成为富人，我们就要有能力去帮助更多人去解决问题。所以我不再是过去的这种限制性的信念，我花了这么多的钱，而是我告诉我自己，当我有能力帮助更多人解决问题的时候，我是可以创造更多的财富的。我今天帮助10个人、100个人、1000个人、10000个人，那我创造的收益也完全是不一样的，大家知道吗？所以那也因为我做这样的一个动作，在2020年疫情开始的时候，我就在开始刚刚疫情开始大年初2，我就在开始线上做直播。我也是因为听了哈佛艾克老师的分享，就是我们要先去帮助别人，你要能够先让到别人有所收获。所以我就在播的去帮助别人，你不断的在播种的时候，那个就叫做业力法则。所以该回报给你的，一定会回报给你的啊！有一点点卡了是吗，七门啊？有一点点卡了，现在可以吗？现在可以吗？好像是有一点点卡掉了哈。我的声音可以听到吗？现在可以了，所以我希望呢，这是老师自己过去的我真实的这样的一个经验，我也希望能够来跟大家一起来分享哈。所以我坚持了800多天，每天早上6点钟在线上直播。我从开始直播的时候，那我只能图片听了，那图片听老师来分享哈。我从开始直播，我当时直播间只有几十个人，到几百个人，到上千个人，到现在老师每一天都可以面对上万人啊，每天早晨这样的直播。我也因为这样的一个思维方式不一样，那也让到我自己在这样的一个充满挑战的阶段。我现在呢在上海，大家都知道我们已经被封在家里已经有2个多月的时间了，可是呢对我丝毫没有任何的这样的一个影响。那我还不仅仅可以去给到我的团队伙伴很好的收入，那我也能够去帮助更多人去创造更好的收入。所以亲爱的家人们，那今天的这样的刚刚的这样的一个课程，大家有没有发现非常大的这样的一份价值呢？你有收到了吗？所以呢对我因为投资了自己，我投资自己去让到自己拥有了帮助别人解决问题的这样的能力。对，我坚持每天早上6点钟直播800多天，那我帮助了足够多的人，也让到我自己拥有了非常棒的收获。所以我们线上所有的家人，你相信你也是值钱的吗？来，相信的在屏幕上跟老师来互动一下。我相信我自己，对，你相信你也值得为自己的人生做正确的投资吗？对，那投资在哪里，回报就在哪里，认同吗？所以呢，接下来老师将带着大家参与一个小游戏哈。那据说，那参加完这个游戏之后，我们今天我看到有很多人问，哎，我怎么能够可以跟艾科老师学习呢？那今天有一个特别好的好消息，有一个好的机会来告诉给大家，想不想能够获得艾科老师的3天的线上的有钱人和你想的不一样，带你更深入的学习这样的机会？你想能够获得这样的免费的学习的机会吗？想要的，大家在屏幕上来一起回复一下，我想要。那我们会带着大家一起来参与一个小游戏，这个游戏呢很简单哈，那就是来测试一下你的财富能量。对，这个游戏就是要测试一下我们今天线上所有的家人，你的财富能量，你觉得你的财富自由值多少？你来定。那我们这个游戏怎么玩呢？等一下我们在屏幕上会来给大家放出来这样的一个图片。如果是我们中国大陆的家人呢，你就可以扫码，但是记得要听清楚哦。那在扫码的时候，大家一定要填上自己的姓名和电话号码。你完成了这个游戏，完成了这个测试之后呢，那留下你的姓名跟电话号码，我们会把大家拉到3天线上课程的这样的群组，给到大家这样的机会。来，接下来呢， 让我们一起来扫码一下。那我们的海外的家人呢，点击财富自由的链接就可以了，但是也要登记你详细的信息哈。那写下来，你愿意为自己的人生投资多少钱呢？投资在自己的大脑上，投资在自己的智慧上，也就是你觉得这辈子你值多少钱？你测试一下自己的财富能量，你觉得你的财富自由值多少哈？所以来，我们大家在屏幕上哈，我们的工作人员会放出来这样的一个图片，大家可以扫一下我们的二维码啊。现在我们可以放出来这个图片吗？对，大家在图片上来扫描的这个二维码就可以来登记哈。